I want to be clear, this agreement represents a compromise, which means no one gets everything that they want, and hard choices had to be made. Negotiations require give and take. That's the responsibility of governing. For months, the president made clear, and you may have heard me say this once or twice, that Congress must take action to prevent default. And from the beginning, he said he would negotiate Republican leadership on a budget framework, and that will allow the appropriations process to proceed under regular order, just like we do every year. The bipartisan budget agreement that we've reached protects key legislative accomplishments from the past 2 years, including the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the CHIPS and Science Act, the PACT Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act's Clean Energy Corporate Minimum Tax and prescription drug provisions. It protects programs millions of hardworking families count on. It protects Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, safeguarding health insurance for millions of Americans. It fully funds veterans' medical care, including mandatory funding for the PACT Act's Toxic Exposure Fund at the levels the President proposed in his fiscal year 24 budget. And it protects critical public health funding from being clawed back to prepare for future pandemics and possible COVID-19 surges. This agreement is now with the United States House and then on to the Senate, and we strongly urge both chambers to pass the bill and send it to the President's desk. One never looks the same as the other. I've done this a few times. They end different every time. They feel different every time. Going in and thinking there was a formula is the wrong thing to do. Different people in the room this time. I'm used to being in a room with appropriators and a little leadership, so it's just always different, and you got to be flexible. The most important thing is to know what they have to have. You have to be clear about what you have to have. I want to know their value statements, and they need to know mine, and we have to find a middle ground. They shouldn't have to compromise their values, and neither should we. That is a bipartisan compromise. I know what's a reach. I may try it, but I know what's a reach. They try with me to see maybe if I'm asleep or not, but at the end of the day, we both have to find a way to protect each other's core principles, like not increasing people going into poverty in this country. And that's how you get to a bill today. And first and foremost, I've said this, I think, in this room, I have always thought the majority of members, Democrats and Republicans, did not want to take us even to the brink of default. I think this bill shows that that assessment was correct, and we have to keep our eye on the prize that passing this bill, getting it to the President, avoids the catastrophic thing that would hurt millions of Americans. And there's a reason world leaders were worried about this. This would have impacted the global economy.